All right, welcome everyone to another edition of
Oh,
Deconversion
my sound is
Stories.
doing that thing again, by the way. One
You're
sec.
what?
Shh.
You're what?
Ollie,
What are you
he's
doing, man?
introducing the show. We have to be quiet.
Christ. He's going on about something shit being blurry and all this. And then Stephanie Helms is in the chat. Hi, Stephanie. And Ollie's is warming up his pipes. I'm not sure if she means you're ready to talk or if you're actually warming up the pipe that you're holding.
Maybe he's gonna sing something.
He's gonna sing. Yeah.
Me.
Well, Ollie, we finally making it happen. I guess Mike and I were both under the impression you'd already been on for some stupid reason, but it's only because you've been in like 200 plus of my fucking after parties, I imagine, somewhere around there anyways.
Something like
that. So we'll finally get you here to tell your freaking story so people actually know what it's all about.
Well, nobody's ever actually asked me my story, Neil. I don't know if I've ever really told it to anybody. So this is like the virgin of birth of my story.
The virgin birth. Ooh. Do we get to kill you and have a resurrection afterwards too, or what?
Well, no.
This is a freshly wrapped blunt.
Yeah, like I said, I've never told the story, so if it comes out a little rough, I apologize.
This is the first time we're just opening the bud canister for the first time. We just got a new pack of rolling papers, brand new lighter. No one has smoked this before.
First, I'd like to unwrap one thing.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
All right. Jenna, you think I'm a cradle atheist. And it's true. I did click off cradle atheist on that survey you did that one time. But that's because I feel cradle atheist is a really bad term and should never be used to describe people that are atheists since birth.
Okay, we're just going to focus this in. We're going to talk about your story, and then we can talk to Jenna after. So let's do your story first. Let's go in order.
Well, it's just that people think I didn't have a religion. That's why I'm bringing it up, right?
Come on.
So I was actually born in Toronto, and my parents are both Catholic.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
What could you do?
Why does everybody hate Toronto?
Because they think they're the center of the universe in Canada.
The people that live there do,
they technically are. But...
Is it the biggest? That's the biggest city, or Ottawa?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's Toronto.
By far.
Toronto. Yeah. Then Vancouver.
Toronto's what, at least 3 times bigger than any other city?
What's the population?
I think they have twice the amount of people we have here on the West Coast, anyways.
Yeah.
But their city spreads like super wide. It's like Calgary. It just spreads and spreads.
Well, yeah, it grabbed all the suburbs, right? So
yeah.
It's about 3 million people.
It's a little over 3, I think. And we're almost at 2.
If you do Greater Toronto, it's 8 million. Pretty sure.
That's a lot of fucking Canadians.
It's Toronto is Chicago sized.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. But Chicago's a much better hockey team.
Well, that is true.
Not last year, but anyway.
I got really wasted watching Blackhawks when we were just winning all the time, and I was like, I'll go to my buddy Ryan's house. We'll watch some hockey.
Watch some Hawks.
That's right. Yeah, you want to check out the Hawks, man? Hey, man, we do a Jaeger bomb when they score. I was like, okay, cool. Dude, in the playoffs, it was fucking 7-5. I almost had to fucking call the emergency room. We were all so fucking... We were too stupid to just not take the shots after we were drunk already.
It's true.
They're taking shots. You're taking shots.
We're all taking shots.
Yeah.
And then we're not taking shots.
We're all getting Zamboni'd. That's what that was.
Zambuki'd.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go. It's my second favorite team. The Habs.
The Habs.
Well, there's no wind on the...
That's not what I want. That's the one I want.
So anyway,
all right. So tell us your story, Ollie.
Well, I was baptized to Catholic, right for birth. Both my parents grew up Catholic, so that's the way they went. In Toronto, I went to a Catholic school for the first 3 years because that's basically the only way to get into First Communion. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so, well, tell people what it is.
So
I know what it is.
Like, to be honest, my memories from my childhood are very foggy, and it's because when I was young, I got hit in the back of the head with a brick.
Weed.
Kind of screwed up.
Oh
no.
Oh.
No, I got hit in the back of the head with a brick, and it's kind of screwed up a lot of my memories. But First Communion basically is where you go and take the body of Christ into you for the first time, right? So you voluntarily go up there, and the priest hands you a little wafer, and you eat it, right?
So they believe in the Eucharist.
Exactly. The other thing about the Catholic Church, it's the church of athletics. It's the one where you got to kneel and stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down and kneel and stand up.
Fucking calves like that, right?
Yeah. So you're constantly on the.
I would figure they were training bat catchers for all the local teams.
No. So, but my parents weren't super serious about going to the religion, so we just mainly went on the big holidays like Christmas and Easter and stuff like that, maybe 4 or 5 other times a year. And other than that, I had to go to a Catholic school, right, so that I could be prepared to go to First Communion. So
you had fun,
and that was like I said, that you'd be 6, 7 years old when you go through First Communion. So a couple of years after that, like still going to the Catholic school the whole time. I hate.
What about Second Communion?
Second Communion, no, 11th.
Christmas,
but yeah,
Easter. Bible study.
I lived in Toronto until I was 9, and then my parents moved back home to Prince Edward Island, and there were no religious schools here where they could put me.
I'm not Canadian, so how far away is that?
Well, 2,200 kilometers. 1,600 miles, 1,500 miles.
Oh, so it's a big move.
Yeah, it's a day drive. If you drive 24 hours straight, it's a day drive.
Oh yeah, 24 hours in the car is a big move.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we moved home, and so because there was no religious Catholic schools here, they put me in catechism class, which was basically Sunday school.
Yikes!
So I was in Sunday school every Sunday for about 4 months a year, 5 months a year.
I want to know a couple of things before you continue on here. Let's go back to when you were in the Catholic school. Like, what was that like? Like, were there like actual nuns teaching and stuff like that?
There was nuns
in the school and
stuff like that. No, I don't remember ever getting whacked with the ruler, but it's possible. Like I said, my actual memories of that time are very foggy.
Were you well behaved?
So, no, I wasn't. I was not. I was definitely not. I was very unhappy when they moved me over into that school. I know I spent a lot of time sitting out in the hallway and not being in the class because I was being too disruptive to the class. And when my parents found out about that a while later, they weren't too happy with the school for treating me that way, because that's not the way you're supposed to do it. So,
well, they gave them a lot of money just for them to put you in the hallways. Like, we got hallways at home.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where you're like, you're in school, you're unhappy. Half of what they're teaching you is about the Bible. Right, that's what it was. Right. So
they teach anything about evolution or nothing, or no?
No, not a thing. Right. But the thing is, I was done in that school in grade 2. Right. Okay. I was done in that school in grade 2. Grade 3, I was home Prince Edward Island. So that'd be when I was 9 years old. So, or 8 years old. I moved home the summer I was 8. But anyway, like I said, once we got here, it was a public school.
We skipped something. What's catechism?
I was just getting back to that.
Yeah.
It's like Sunday school. It's an extra couple hours a week that you have to attend school. It was in the.
It's like me going to Hebrew school.
Yeah, there across the street from the Roman Catholic Church, there was what I call the nunnery. That's not what it's really called, but that's where all the nuns lived, whatever you call that. And they basically had classrooms in there, and they taught catechism. That's what they did. And it was just on Sundays. It was right after the church hours. So I was expected to go to that for, I think it was 4 months a year. Right. And that was to prepare me for your commitment, or not commitment. What's it called? I can't remember. No.
Christening.
No.
Chrysanthemum. Cantaloupe.
Chrysanthemum?
Cantaloupe. I got one of those in the fridge. But not. But anyway, it's where you reaffirm the baptism, right? Where you voluntarily decide to make the same choice that your parents made when they baptized you. right? You're
Oh,
13 years old. You're old enough to make that decision as a man, is what it's called, right? So it's when
Bar
you make
mitzvah.
that commitment.
Oh wait, no, that's something else.
That's Jewish, but I can't do
Quinceañera?
that. No, sorry. You're just going to keep throwing words at me. I'll never get it. That's for sure. But confirmation. Thank you, Air. Thank you.
Oh, fucking Randolph. So Randolph wants to know if when you were in Catholic school, did you have a smaller version of the pipe that you're smoking right now?
No,
Not when he was fucking 9, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I was in the catechism from age 9 to age 13, right? And then at age 13, that's when I did confirmation, which is where you.
There you go. That's what it is.
Where you voluntarily once again reaffirm that yes, I'm a Catholic and I want to be a Catholic and be saved and all that stuff, right? But all through this time, though, my parents had been fading away from religion. Right, they hadn't been going to church quite as much. That not that they would be becoming unreligious, they were becoming disillusioned with organized religion. You know what I'm saying?
Which happens a lot.
Yeah. So and another thing, right around that time that I just finished doing my confirmation, there was a big scandal in our local churches with priests obviously going with young boys and shit like that, right? And that actually made my parents want to get out of the church and just go their own way, where my mom and dad still believe in Jesus, stuff like that, but they just don't think the church has got it right. It's just corrupt. Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
so sure. That's when I basically was given the choice. You don't have to go to church anymore if you want. Right.
That's what they said to you. They actually said that
right after they said that to me. You don't have to go to church anymore if you want. We're still religious, but the church is doesn't have it right. That's what my parents basically. So, right. That's pretty cool. And like I said, it was more or less because of these things that were going on in the church and right with the scandals with the priests and right. So it was bad around here. So, but anyway, from there it was like over the next couple of years, sure, okay, there's a God, but got away from going to church, didn't start caring about it, stopped thinking about it, went kind of the back of my head. Right.
Right. So those foggy memories.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I also I started smoking hashish when I was about 13, 14 years old as well. You couldn't get pot around here back then.
Fair enough. I just had a question. You were saying you were hitting the head with a brick.
Yes.
I wonder now. Hold on. You see, because I remember being a kid and they had this thing called the TV brick. It was a little foam thing, and when you got mad at the TV, you could whip the TV brick. So it was actually somebody thought it was a TV brick and it was a real brick, and they threw it at you. Or?
I was walking to school and I was walking by a friend's place, and my friend's little brother was in the front yard playing with stuff. Asked me if I could stop and play, and I said no. I got to get to school. And he picked up a brick that was on the driveway and threw it and caught me right in the back of the head here.
Oh, wow.
I was unconscious for a few minutes. I don't even know how long. I don't know how long I was unconscious.
Were you late for school?
So
I don't think you went that day.
Oh no, I still ended up going to school. It's like the way things ended up working out. Like I think I don't remember it that well, but I think that the little boy's mother came out, woke me up, got me back on my feet, cleaned me up, and sent me to school, not realizing how badly hurt I was.
Wow. Yeah,
right?
Probably a concussion and shit like that.
My mom would have burned that lady's house down.
My parents didn't find out about it until months later.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. You didn't tell them?
It never came up. I forgot about it basically and just kept going because, like I said, it fucked me up.
Oh, wow.
So...
Do you remember where you lived?
I was about to say that lady.
I still remember where I lived. Yeah. So, but
I'm gonna charge that lady with negligence, child
endangerment. I couldn't even know that she would have known what was happening because he was out in the front yard by himself. I'm sure that the kid just ran inside and said he's lying down out front. I don't know what's wrong, and came out and saw me. Right. So.
Why is that rock right next to his head?
I didn't have a cut or anything. All I had was a good lump. Right. So,
jeez.
But that's still somebody else's kid that's injured. I would call that fucking all of the paramedics and be like, make sure.
I know. But
hey.
Toronto in the 70s, It was a Etobicoke. Like there was families there from everywhere. It was a melting pot type of area, right? And it was a lot of newer people to Canada too that were in the area.
Okay.
So take it with what it is. So, but anyway, that was. Yeah, I was 8 years old. That was the last. That was probably about 4 or 6 months before we actually moved home. Wasn't that long before we moved home? So
moved home. You mean moved your home to the new home?
Well, my parents are both from PEI, and I know I was born in Toronto.
Yeah,
right.
So it was always called moving home.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the whole time we were in Toronto was like, we can't wait to move home, can't wait to move home type of thing, right? Because they wanted to move home after they'd moved up there and got a lot of good work success and experience, and it allowed. I want to feel brick free, thanks.
I want to break free.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway,
I got a few bricks.
Few. Yeah, but those
million.
are plastic. We'd have to stack up an awful lot of them together and throw them at you pretty hard to hurt you.
Oh, I'll build a fucking Thor's hammer. They actually make the Thor's hammer now, and I'll build that fucker, glue it together, and smack you in the head with it. See how that works.
Are we allowed to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder?
I've seen it. So.
I haven't.
Okay, so no, we're not.
I didn't see it yet. I saw it on Disney Plus. I haven't opened it in a while.
Yeah, it's on. It's on. It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun, yeah. It was way longer than I thought it was going to be. For some reason, I only thought it was supposed to be like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. It ended up being almost 2.5 hours long.
I think I know what you're going to say too, Ollie, about the when Jane becomes Thor and the hammer, what it does.
Yeah, I really like the way they did the hammer. But
yeah,
I don't
that's really cool.
Details, like I said.
Yeah, no, Mikey has to watch it. He took his headphones off.
We're not talking. You're good, Mikey.
I don't trust you. I don't trust either one of you.
Dude, I'm trying to bet I could.
It's okay.
You're waiting for me to put it on my ears.
Damn it, Mikey. It's fine. I only mentioned one thing. You wouldn't even know what I was talking about until you actually saw it. So
that's right. You wouldn't.
Glad I missed it. So
Yeah,
anyways, about that crazy religion.
Yeah, Catholics, what can you do?
What can you do?
It's like I said, it's Christianity light, honestly, though. Right? You don't have to take it too seriously. As long as you feel sorry for things that you've done wrong, you're going to be pretty good, right? That's the thing. That's right. Basically it, and that's what my mother mainly has taken what she's learned from religion and from Catholicism, and said, okay, get rid of the church, and this is what we're going to focus on. So that's just be good and live a good life and try and be good, right? So
right.
So over the next few years, that's basically all I had to do with religion. Was my mom, I knew my mom prayed, but I never prayed because I didn't really feel any reason to pray. I just figured as long as I'm a good kid, I'll be all right. So the next time I voluntarily went to a church, I was dating this girl, and she asked me to go to church with her. And I said, okay, sure. She hadn't talked to me about her religion at all yet. We'd only been out on a couple of dates. And
where did you guys go on dates? Did you get like milkshakes?
I met her in cadets. So we went to a couple of cadet functions together, like a dance, and there was a weekend that we all went to we were in bands, so we went to where we were playing, and we just hung out.
What did you play?
Bass drum.
Oh.
So
the noisy boys.
Yeah. So but anyway, that's when I found out that she was Pentecostal.
Oh, yeah,
with the harness.
And,
yeah.
I was using the big drum.
It's always a girl.
So it's always a girl, yeah. So
we will do anything if you guys just look at us.
I know. So anyway, so I went to her church with her, and it was a tiny little church. And when I say a tiny little church, I mean there was only like maybe 15 pews. You could fit 40 people in there at most.
Right? Oh yeah, I know. We have one around here like that.
So and we got in there, and it was hot. It was like summer. It was like stupid. everybody was dressed super fine. It's like, why is there like, you guys are ridiculous, is what I'm thinking. I'm 16 years old, you know. And anyway, so we're in there. They start like in the middle of it, breaking out into weird noises and stuff. And
oh shit, speaking in tongues?
Yeah, the preacher's going on about them speaking in tongues and stuff. And it's like, what the hell is this craziness that I've walked into, is what I'm thinking.
Kalima, Kalima. And he reached for your heart and he pulled your heart out and it was still pumping and he threw it into the volcano.
That's right. So, but literally, I'm in a Pentecostal church and they're just not like, that was the last time I went out with that girl. I don't know if I really talked to her a whole lot after that either. So
creeps you out.
You did. It was you were speaking in tongues when you did, though, right?
Yeah. So
I can pluck it.
Right. Anyway, so but that was like my last real experience with a church or religion, other than knowing that my mom prayed when we sat down for dinner and stuff like that.
She still do that?
No. Well, not maybe when I'm not there. I don't know. She doesn't do it when I'm there. So, but that was my last experience with religion, other than going to people's weddings or going to a funeral or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So in the back of my head, it was always that I just naturally accepted. Sure, there's some greater being out there that cares about us and whatnot like that, but the churches and religions are all wrong. That's the way my life was for the next 20 years almost. Right. So
okay, but hold on. So you guys just really kind of took the gas pedal off the whole religion thing.
Yes, altogether.
I mean, other than the odd few things, like you still believe this or you still believe that, and you still did the prayer at dinner and stuff like that. But how long did that last until you were pretty much like, I'm done with this altogether with? Like, how long did that last?
Well, when I moved out of home, I stopped any religious practices at all. There was none. I didn't partake in any religious practices, but I never gave it any thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I never,
never on the forefront of your mind. Right?
No, it was just never there. It was never a concern for me. It was just an accepted thing. Okay, I'm Catholic. I'm going to be saved as long as I live a good life. Right? That was what my parents had basically convinced me of.
Okay, well, what if you did something wrong? Did you ever think, oh, crap, now I'm going to hell?
No.
Okay.
Because I could ask for forgiveness and I'm okay. As long as I understand that
lift up your skirt.
As long as I understand that I did something wrong and try and do better, I'm good. That's the thing. That's Catholic light. That's Christian light, right?
Light.
Unless you lose your voice. And then you can pray. And then you have
24 hours. Your mind, man. God can read your mind.
Then why do I have to pray?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know. None of it makes sense anyways,
None
Mikey.
Makes sense, dude.
He's dialed into the motherboard already. Why am I wasting breath? You know what I'm thinking?
Yeah. So it's like I said, for the longest time, I like the concept of atheism was not something I was ever exposed to.
Really?
Yeah. The concept.
You never knew anyone that called themselves that or anything like that?
No, nobody. Absolutely nobody.
Unless you're like somewhere where that kind of discussions are happening, you're probably not going to hear anyone talk about that.
Here it was like religion and politics. You don't talk about them.
Yeah.
You just don't talk about them with other people. You talk about other stuff. So you never got into like atheism. I was never exposed to the idea.
So when did that finally happen?
YouTube, 2008, the Atheist Experience.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I watched an episode and it was like, I got no justifiable reason to hold any of those beliefs. What the hell have I been thinking my whole life?
I can swear, don't worry.
I know, but that's what went through my head at the time. You know what I'm saying?
He self-edited it at the time.
Yeah. So
if she can.
and honestly, for the next year and a half, 2 years, I didn't come right out and say I'm atheist either. It was I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic when people would ask me. Right.
Right.
And I just mulled it over for a while and kept watching more shows and getting more educated. And then one day somebody else asked me, I said, no, I'm an atheist. And I realized I changed the word. It just came right out naturally. No, I'm an atheist. And then I realized, okay, I got to go have a talk with my mother now. So my parents had.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah,
See, this is what
it was right away.
So, Mom, I'm an atheist. So I want to hear that discussion. How did that go?
It did very well.
Wow.
Very well.
Okay.
Right. My mom disagreed with me, but accepted my right to choose.
Okay.
I know coins.
It's like, all right, it's about fucking time.
She accepted my right to choose and believed that, but she came right out and told me that because I was back. What?
Hold on. It's not a choice, but we don't consciously make these choices. These are something we become convinced of.
I know that. That's what she told me.
Okay.
Right? All right. So she's telling me that I've made my choice or my decision or whatever, but that it really doesn't matter as long as I live a good life because I've been baptized and I went through First Communion and confirmation. So she still firmly believes that I'm safe and Catholic and going to heaven.
She's like, he's good. Doesn't matter what he says. He's fine.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, but I mean, and we don't really talk about it other than they acknowledge the fact that I say I don't believe in a God. Right. So whether or not they have accepted that yet, I don't know if they have.
Oh, Randolph, we need to talk. This is his last comment. This to me.
Well, that leads back to what I was trying to say.
Atheism
at the beginning
is
of the
natural.
show.
Atheism isn't something that is unnatural. It's that leads. This is a weird one to talk about.
Well, if I could address it just very quick, that leads me back to the cradle atheist comment. I think everybody's a cradle atheist because you have to be indoctrinated or convinced of religion. Mm-hmm. So everybody born as a cradle atheist, it's a misnomer, and you shouldn't use it to label people that have been atheists since birth.
Well, if you don't believe in anything when you're born, you don't you don't have the capacity to do that, right? So when people say, "Oh, you're born an atheist," well, no, you're born a fucking infant with nothing, right? You got to that stuff comes afterwards.
Exactly, exactly.
You're raised in a family where they have some sort of practice or belief, and then you end up you absorb that, right? So,
what instincts do you have as a child? You can breathe, you can blink, you can. If somebody puts a tit in your mouth, you suck it.
Jesus Christ.
Still to this day. I mean,
there's no other way to say that. Jesus.
Welcome to the Pornhub version of tonight.
Golly.
What? It's the honest truth.
I get it, dude, but damn, phrasing, bro. Like,
yeah, Archer.
Babies know how to eat.
Who I am. Don't try and change me, buddy.
Tabula rasa. Yeah, there you go. Blank slate. There you go. Yeah. You are basically a blank slate, and you get molded by whatever your surroundings are, basically.
I agree completely. So,
but it's not. But atheism in itself is a belief system of sorts.
No, is it? No,
it is.
It's an answer on.
Okay, hold on. It's still the word belief is still there. Your belief is you don't believe there are gods.
Okay.
Where believers believe there are gods. So it is a position of belief.
Yeah, like it feels like you're using
I don't believe there are gods.
You say it that way, though, doesn't it?
I believe no gods exist. Period. That's just my belief. Okay. But, where was I going? Damn it. I'm all fucked up. I haven't even smoked anything yet. What the hell's going on here? I'm in trouble.
That's probably why.
Reason. Yeah, probably. Like the grasping action. Yes, babies like to grab things. Right?
Yep.
So that's another one.
You put something in their hand, they're going to hold on to it because they don't want to fall.
This is why we're friends, Stephanie.
Yeah. That grabbing thing is so that they don't fall. They have a fear of falling, maybe. right? They would grab onto everything. So
I think it's a leftover from our primate heritage for holding on.
could be.
Yes.
Could be.
It's a position of disbelief. Atheism is a position, no matter how you slice it.
It is a position, yes. So, but when
I
you
used to
say
think
it's a
differently,
belief
but-
in not having a belief, it feels like a double negative. But
Well,
it's
no,
not.
you don't. Anyway,
To
next.
me, like none of the mankind doesn't come up with a God that exists.
No, we haven't yet.
So I don't believe in any of those gods. And do I have any reason to believe there's some other entity or God out there? Well, until I have some evidence, no.
Right.
That's where I'm at. Right. So.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what atheism is. Is like, well, everyone keeps saying there's gods. I don't believe it. I haven't seen any evidence, so I'm gonna remain in my position of non-belief until you show me some evidence that's actually convincing.
Please and thank you.
Yeah,
Please and thank you. If you want me to believe, that's all you have to do.
Yep.
So,
And they've been trying for years, and they still haven't been able to do it.
It hasn't happened. No.
My biggest arguments are like there can't possibly be, at least the biblical God, there cannot possibly be, because if he's all loving and all caring and all present, and he can read your fucking mind, and he's all powerful and all this shit, then why the fuck did the Holocaust happen? Did the Crusades happen? Why are kids being raped by cleric? Why are fucking
whoa, just go back to the first question. Why the fuck was the apple within reach of Eve?
Well, not only that, but he would have known that was going to happen because he's all knowing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's why I say, why was it within reach?
It's all
You couldn't put it on the moon.
yeah,
right. Or on an island with like big waves, making it impossible to get there.
But
exactly.
you see, though, Mikey, according to the Bible, the moon is inside the
firmament.
The firmament, right? So
yeah, that's right. I forgot about the firmament clause,
right.
of 200 BC.
So yeah,
yes,
so there's
Ox, Ollie deconverted.
Son of Stan.
Son of Stan.
I don't know what that is.
Stan Hardy or Laurel and Hardy. Stan. One of them was named
Ollie.
Yeah.
Chill, y'all.
Satan, I meant.
Son of Satan. Yeah. No. Son of pot. Pot smoker.
Socratic Method says, why didn't God know where Adam and Eve were hiding? Apparently, from what I was told by some fucking dipshit, was apparently he was just messing with them. He actually did know, but he wanted them to think he didn't. Apparently.
Sounds like a lie.
Right. But God doesn't lie.
Wow.
So, why does he have regret? And what the fuck's with this resting on a Sunday? Why does an omnipotent being need to rest? I never understood.
No, it does make sense.
It's for pleasure.
Maybe he's just trying to set an example for us so we'd all rest and not be a workhorse like him, right?
And I am the most devout. I rest every day.
Every day is Sunday.
I take the Sabbath
every day that ends in Y.
I take the Sabbath very seriously. I refuse to work ever.
I do the whole week not working to prep for that.
Even God
I work
rested.
every fucking day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yes, the God works in mysterious ways. That's a cop-out answer. So
It is.
Right.
It is.
He better not work on mysterious ways on a Sunday.
No, Dave. How the fuck are you going to identify as religious in a cradle? At that point in your life, you don't have any concept of what religion even is.
Yeah. It's before
you can't be
you
an atheist and you can't be a theist. You have no concepts of any of that.
Well, is a stone an atheist?
Here we go.
I don't. That's fucking. The Rock is an well. It depends on what version or definition you're going with, right? That's what I boiled it down to.
So
right? Some people are on one side of the fence, some people are on the other side of the fence. I don't think rocks are atheists because I don't think they can even conceive what an atheist is because they're fucking.
So you
rocks.
have to be able to. So you have to be able to conceive to be able to be an atheist. I would agree with that statement. I guess yes.
Yes, there would have to be some thought put into that, right? So,
yeah.
And rocks can't think. At least none of the rocks I've ever talked to.
Well, if you go back to
they don't answer
earlier, where you actually have to actively disbelieve. So if you can't actively disbelieve, and a rock can't do that. So
Who wrote the Genesis narrative before God? Well, God, you see, God whispered in their ear. It was Moses, I think, that wrote it all. He whispered in Moses' ear about and told him to write all this stuff down. That's what the whole burning bush shit was, right? So tell him to start writing. Right. And Moses was even able to write about his own death, which is really weird.
It's very. You have to be a very skilled author to accomplish that.
Are we all rocks in vats? These are the hard questions.
Mark, I am. But even when I'm not.
Fairy tales, yeah, and literature rather telling. Yeah, all religions that have ever existed in human history, and there is lots of them. There's lots of them.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, if you go back through all of human history, there's somewhere around 25 to 3,000 deities worshipped now. But if you go back throughout human history,
there's tens of thousands.
Millions, dude. If you look at Hinduism alone, they have deities and demi-deities out the wazoo.
I guess, right? Yeah.
There's a deity for everything. Oh, this is the god of the glass of water. You know, they have deities for everything.
Yeah, the same thing with the Greek and the Roman religions. There's like hundreds and hundreds of deities, like because there's all kinds of minor little deities that did nothing.
Yeah. So there's literally millions of them. But the Christians and the Catholics, they got the right one.
Obviously.
What? No.
The one true.
Where? Who? No. They whittled it down to one. That's what
Jesus
they whittled it down to one.
Because if you go early enough into Judaism, there was actually a pantheon.
Probably, yes, because I vaguely remember
borrowed from the Canaanites.
About that. So,
indeed.
It's like they got the cliff notes for all the other world religions and then just started like sewing stuff together.
That's right, Ox. No, people aren't born. You're not born anything. You're you're an infant. You'd have no capability to understand that shit.
Well, wait a second now. So does that mean that you would let's take an example that there's some people living in some isolated place on the planet that have not met or been introduced to anybody else on the planet yet, and they have not developed a concept of a God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they atheists?
Yes, even as an infant, they wouldn't have any idea of that. They just grew up never having that idea, so they would technically be atheistic, but they may not know what that means, but they don't have a deity.
Whether they know what it means or not, would they be atheists?
We would describe them as being atheistic, yes.
Okay. That would be the cradle atheist term that I was trying to get at.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
The baby in the cradle is that type of atheist.
Oh yeah, Archer, I'm with you. Hanuman the monkey god's the best.
The what? The monkey god.
Hanuman,
is that like
the monkey god? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know Hanuman.
I like Goku.
One of the Hindu.
Goku.
He's a Saiyan god.
I was thinking that. Do you remember that movie where Jet Li plays the monkey god?
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called.
I remember.
It's him and Jackie Chan are both in the movie, right? It's one of the few that they did together.
Once upon a time in China.
That's the one. Yeah.
Mark says, wouldn't Muslims be more right than Christians? They're a later version of Christianity. Well, they're not right either. They're the like the Star Wars trilogy. You got Judaism, Christianity, and then Islam. So it's like that's how it works.
Revenge of the Nazareth. Allah strikes back.
Revenge. Revenge of the talking donkey.
I haven't heard the coins ring nearly often enough. I'm not smoking enough bowls, guys. Come on. Ring.
Yeah, that's true, Farron. Yeah, I like that. If ants could conceive of my existence, even my fuck-ups would appear a godlike to them.
Yes,
especially when you're hovering over them with a magnifying glass going, all right, step out of line, one of you.
No, picture it.
Sun and shit. I used to do that.
There's a whole bunch of ants on the ground over there, and your colossal fuck-up, you trip. You're falling towards them. The light goes away because now they're in shadow. They see this giant crumbling figure coming at them. Slam! They all jump and fly through the air. It would be a colossal. Yeah.
You really Really painting a picture there, big guy. I'm listening to this. Why? What do you mean? What am I doing?
You look distracted. That's why.
I'm being quiet. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. All right. Fair
Okay.
enough. Oh, Randolph is putting up some brick stuff here for you. Right? Is that what that is? Brick, yeah, brick.
I think it is.
Is that like a little brick in the wall?
Yeah.
Another brick in the wall.
Ollie got hit by it. One of them got free and hit Ollie in the back of the head.
That's right. So.
Okay, so nowadays, do your folks ever try to convince you again of anything like that? Like when you guys get together for dinners and stuff like that, do you guys ever talk about it, or do they question you? Like, do they ask you questions about why you decided to do that?
Well, I actually called and talked to my mother just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because
tell her you're coming on the show.
Well, that and to ask her a lot of questions, because like I said, I was pretty foggy about the stuff around when I was really young.
Right.
So I would say up until yesterday's conversation, no, not really. They don't ever. But during that conversation yesterday, maybe a little bit. Right. So, but I mean, it's they're doing it out of love, right?
Of course. They want you to be saved, right? They want you to go to heaven because they think it's something that's real, and that does come from a place of love, right? You'd want to do that for your kids, you'd think, right? So exactly. Of course, so yeah, but just say, Mom, I just don't believe it, right? So.
Yeah, that's basically what I said, and it's like they don't push the issue or anything like that.
Right.
It rarely comes up because we don't talk about stuff like that. Like I said, it's the whole time I've been brought up, it's not polite to talk about religion and politics. So it's not that it's not polite. It's not a good idea usually because it can lead to some pretty fucking heated shit, right? So. It can. So that's the way it's always been. It's like that. So that's never been an open topic. The whole time I've been growing up, that's never been a topic. Right. Just never. And I get it because when I'm at my sister's for like Passover meals and stuff like that, and I start talking about, she just gives me this look like, don't you even fucking dare.
Don't you do it.
Yeah. If sitting at a dinner.
Never happened. Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened.
Sitting at it. Sorry. When I'm over at my parents' place and we're sitting at a dinner or something like that, and there's more family over than just me. Right. And the topic of does anybody want to say grace comes up, right? That's they know my opinion on that.
Ollie volunteers and he says grace and just starts eating. Grace and then just nom 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 nom.
Yeah. Thanks to the people that cook the food. Let's eat.
Yeah.
Arigato gozaimasu. Or ikidakimasu. I forget what it is in all the anime before they eat.
Oh yeah, well it's something which is literally thanks for the food. That's it.
Yep,
that's all it is. Thanks for the food.
It was right around the first time I watched the Atheist Experience that I also went disc golfing for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, it was 2008 when I started playing disc golf.
Okay,
so I learned how to play.
I'll let you be the judge.
No, not even close. But I had to cross off everybody's bingo card. Come on now.
Atheist
it was making this.
Not only does Atheist Experience lead you to atheism, it also leads you to darker things like pot smoking and disc golf.
I started smoking pot well before I disbelieved in religion.
I already printed the posters up. This is what we're going with. The campaign's already
created the plant, right? So you might as well fucking fire that up.
Yeah, you got to talk during this one. You can't smoke so much. You got.
What do you mean?
You're the guest. You got to talk to us.
But everybody expects me to smoke too, Mikey. Come on, you expect. Let's see it in chat. I want to see L's for how many more bowls you want me to smoke before this is over. I got 10 minutes. Jesus. I could probably smoke 3 at most.
But I just heard how many balls do you want me to smoke?
No,
but I think I know you said bowls.
Bowls.
'Twas bowls.
Twas the night before Bowlmas.
Yeah, that's another one. That's a good one. That's a good one there. Rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub. Yay, God.
Yay,
Yay,
God.
God. There you go.
What is that from?
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Is that a Christmas
Something
story?
in the tub.
Rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's from anything. They probably had the expression in like movies and TV shows, but
Could have.
that's been an expression that I've known about like my entire life. So I don't know where it originated, to be honest.
It's in a song from the 50s.
Yeah.
Rub-a-dub-dub in the. I was just playing in the tub. I can't remember the name of the damn song.
Splish splash. I was taking a
That was the one. That's the one. Yeah.
3 men in a boat. No, it's 3 men in a leaky boat. Or is that 6 men in a leaky boat? What the fuck was that song? Is that XTC? No, that wasn't XTC.
I don't know that one.
I think it's pronounced THC.
Might have been Crowded House, which was spawned off of XTC.
LSD.
We were only making plans for Nigel.
LSD.
That was XTC. Not LSD. Christ almighty.
What's wrong with LSD?
XTC. No, nothing. But that's not what I was talking about. God damn it. Yeah. Fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
It begins.
It always begins.
It begins.
Winking and blinking and nod.
Winking, blinking, nod. What?
Wasn't Nod the city that Cain went to after he was kicked out of the garden? Like, where'd that fucking come from? Land of Nod. That's where he went. I even have the Book of Nod around here somewhere, but that comes from that vampire fucking
Buffy?
Not Buffy. It's Vampire the Masquerade or something like that. It was a game. I used to play it.
Yeah, it's a role-playing game, right?
Yeah, and it's part of that. Where Cain is kicked out of Eden and he goes to the land of Nod and he meets Lilith, who was around before Eve, apparently, and he ends up coupling up with her and becoming one of the children of the night kind of thing, and that's where it all starts. Cain was technically the first vampire, apparently.
That's one place where I was lucky as a kid, by the way. Just something.
Drums and Wires album. I had that on cassette, by the way, and LP when it first came out.
When I started playing D&D when I was 13 years old, right at first I had to keep it quiet from my parents. There was
was this in the 80s?
Oh yeah, 83.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The height of the Satanic Panic.
I had to keep it quiet from my parents. They believed most of what they were hearing from the religious community on it then. And then when that.
No, I wasn't there during the time. So was this like on TV? Was it just like word of mouth? Like for the Satanic Panic stuff, like kind of where were people getting influence from? Because it wasn't like they saw it on Twitter. You know what I mean?
They were seeing it on like news shows.
It was on like the nighttime news.
Yes, the nighttime news and stuff like that. It'd be one of the later stories in the news outcast. And there was also that movie that Tom Hanks was in.
Castaway?
No, you're talking about Monsters and Mazes.
Yeah, that a lot of people freaked out over that. A lot of people freaked out over that.
There you go.
So,
Book of Nod.
But it ended up that when the whole big thing happened and basically my parents fell out of the church, they stopped caring about whether or not I played D&D. They started buying me books for my birthday and Christmas and stuff like that. 4 or 5 of the first edition books I got.
They bought you D&D books for Christmas?
For Christmas and for my birthday, yes. I got the Legends and Lore book, the book that had all of the deities in it for my birthday.
Yeah, I've got one too. Oh, yeah, but it's not for D&D. It lists, I think it's around 2,600 of the most worshipped deities today. Dictionary of the Gods is called. But they're actual deities.
So
that's where I discovered
all of these are based off of pretty much real deities. Most of them, anyway.
Oh, of course, yes.
So, but it's just cool. It was like a switch going off for them when they stepped away from the church. They did a real good break. So, and I gotta say that helped me a lot.
That was gonna be like, that's
What I
that's
missed here.
always my it's always my question is like, what's kind of the stuff that you missed out on? So it sounds like it's just like 6 months of D&D, but then you were right back in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's good that they didn't, because a lot of people have to go through all the purity culture shit, and you can't wear this, your hair has to look like this, you can't
I know.
play this or listen to music, because my mom was real big on like music. Like they wouldn't let me listen to anything but like classical music.
That girl I was dating back when I was
I didn't know
16, she hadn't been in Pentecostal herself long.
Oh, okay.
She was converting and trying to get me to convert at the same time.
So y'all can have
She was into it, right? Her family wasn't Pentecostal. It was just her going by herself. So she was just starting to get into it.
Wonder where she's at now.
My sister did something similar. She would bounce around from like worship house to worship house, all different kinds of religions, just to sort of see what they were like and see if she actually was on the involved in a religion that she wanted to be in. And my folks were like, "Oh yeah, go for it." So she ended up staying in Judaism anyways, and she married a guy that fucking is almost a rabbi, for crying out loud. But yeah, he gives me looks too when I'm over there. We get along, don't worry, but it's kind of funny sometimes.
Being a little brother, I have never given any of my sister's boyfriends or husbands 1 day of rest. So good job, Neil.
There you go.
I have never given them 1 day of rest.
Well, I'm the big brother in this instance. I'm the firstborn in both of the families that I have.
I never had that option. I am an only child.
Still makes you the firstborn, man.
I guess.
Yeah, technically, and the last.
Yeah. And the last.
First and last. You're the alpha.
No, I'm just referring to the relationship you had with your siblings. I never had anything like that. When I growing up in Toronto, I had one cousin that was around my age that I'd see maybe once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When we moved home to PEI, once again, one other cousin that was a couple of years older than me that I hung out with, and one friend that lived across the street during most of my childhood.
Wow.
Those are the people I hung out with. It was pretty quiet. Yeah. So
I usually hung out with adults.
Yeah, me too. So
a moil isn't necessarily a rabbi, Mark, just FYI.
So okay.
A moil is qualified to do that. And it's gross.
That was just during like I said, when I first moved home in that first couple of years, but it was D&D that actually found me a fairly significant chunk of friends, because you had to reach out and find groups to play D&D with. So
yeah, you can't just go to Neil's after party and conscript people to do your bidding. It's not 2021.
Wait, what? Did that happen?
Yep.
Yep.
I just stole everybody from Neil's after party and I made them all play D&D with me.
Yep.
So I got to know, Ollie, when did you stumble upon my channel?
I was doing that show with Jenna. I'm so bad with people's names. I'm sorry. That is one of my failings in life. My brain names just don't stick in my head unless I'm seeing your name like a lot. I don't remember your name. I apologize to everybody in general.
He's not sorry.
Yeah, I can read your name. Yes, Neil. Thank you. But I was doing that show, and Mikey, you dropped into the show at one point in time and invited me to watch Neil's show. And it was a week later I was being invited into the after party, but I didn't have a camera, and all I really had was a desktop mic, so my audio and everything sucked. Right?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And the dark times.
The dark times. And then it was shortly after that I went and picked a camera. And then it was probably another 2.5 months after that I got this Yeti. Thank you, Mikey. Mikey turned me on to a great deal on that Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Mikey turned me on freezing.
Yep.
Mikey turned me on. Pause. Do a great deal on a Yeti.
And what was that? That would have been the summer of 2020, I want to say.
One
No.
hot summer night,
Well, yeah.
Mikey turned me on to a great deal.
What do you say to the wolf? With the I can't remember what the fucking
No, yeah.
out of hell.
I think it was the fall of 2020 that I started hanging around with you guys. So
Give or take, yeah, probably. Yeah. And we're
So-
now it's officially first day of fall today, guys. As of 4 minutes, I think they say 6:03. No, 2 minutes. 6:03 my time, so it's already for you guys, but
it is.
it's apparently
Autumn.
it's officially autumn or fall or Halloween. That's what I call it too. So yay, Halloween's coming. Yay.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm gonna do this year.
But it's spring for all you people in the southern hemisphere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has
for March.
here. That's one thing you got to notice, dude. We used to start getting, like, I remember back in the 80s, we used to start getting winter middle of October, and it would last. It would last right
Forever.
until May. You're like the May 2-4 weekend when you were getting that holiday was the first weekend you were really getting. Hey, there's no snow on the ground. Yay! It wasn't a camping weekend. It was just the first weekend. There's no snow on the ground. Yay! Right, still soaking wet everywhere.
Wow.
Now
That's why I live here.
winter doesn't start here. We don't get snow on the ground. If it's early, it's Christmas. If it's later, it's the middle of January, and it's gone by the end of April. Winter is short here now. It's so weird compared to what it was, but it's stupid ridiculous. 8 years ago, this I don't have pictures of it anymore, but my dog was up on top of my roof of my house because the snowbank went right up to the roof of it.
Nice.
So
Andrew has a question for you, Ollie. Have you watched the Netflix show Anne with an E? I didn't even know that it was a show.
I'll be honest with you. I don't have a subscription to Netflix, so
Why?
no, I have not. I just don't have one. My cable provider sucks right now. The instrumentation they gave me, I can't watch any streaming service through this digital box that they gave me. So I'm just waiting to get out of my contract. I'm a month away from getting out of my contract, and I'm switching to somebody else. So,
dude, I did go with Roku.
I don't have that option here, dude. I got Bell. Well, I shouldn't say who I have.
What do you mean you don't have option? You can get Roku anywhere.
Roku just runs off the internet.
Yeah.
Well, my internet provider also provides other things, dude. That's it. That's
fine.
that's what I'm referring to as my internet provider, right?
Call the Roku people and talk to them. They'll set you straight.
So, I have very little Anne of Green Gables experience. I have seen Anne of Green Gables the musical, and that would have been, I'm trying to think, 91.
Oh, I see.
91, 92.
Set in PEI.
Gotcha. That's I figured she was talking about Anne. But in 91, 92, I did see it, and there's a little story with this. I was in a bar that's commonly known as the Dip, and that is short for the dispensary. That is what the name of the bar was. It was a little basement bar. You walk down this narrow flight of stairs to get into it. Me and a couple other guys, middle of the afternoon, unemployed, early 20s. All of us just drinking our faces off, right? Right across the street is the Confederation Center.
What is that?
That's that's where Anne of Green Gables and all the main plays that come here to the island and play. That's where they all play. It's a big opera theater house. Okay. One of their promoters come in and said, "We need to fill some chairs. Does anybody want to go and see a play?" And all of us, to a man, there was like 9 or 10 of us, raise our hands because we were out of money. We didn't have any more money to sit here and drink. We were buying pictures because we were scraping together every cent we could. to buy a pitcher and drinking it, right? So, okay, something to do for the afternoon? Right on, let's go. So
I'm sorry, did you say free?
Yep. So we piled in there and watched Anne of Green Gables. And other than hearing about Anne of Green Gables and knowing it was a tourist attraction out in the Cavendish area, there's Anne of Green Gables house that you can go and visit and supposedly visit some Lucy Maud Montgomery artifacts, right? Because Lucy Maud did live here and wrote a lot of the books while she was here, right? So it's Lucy Maud's house that they're supposedly going to visit. I don't know if it actually is or not, but they supposedly have a whole bunch of relics from Lucy Maud, and you go there and visit. So it's called the Confederation Center because Prince Edward Island is the home of Canada. Confederation was signed in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. That's where all the provinces sent representatives and all signed an agreement to become a nation.
Dr. Ben.
That's why it's called Confederation Center. It's right next door to Town Hall, and it's the Confederation Center of the Arts is what it's called. So there's a huge, massive library in there. There's all kinds of stuff. So,
right on. Well, Ollie, this is the kind of shit we can do in an after party. So why do you say, if you could go back in time and see yourself while you were still a believer, what would you tell yourself?
Honestly, I would go back to when right after I came to the let's get out of religion point, and I hadn't been exposed to religion for a while. So probably sometime when would I be really accepted? Some probably in my teens, my late teens, I would have been ready. Just expose me to the concept of atheism.
Right.
That's all. Just expose me to the concept of it. That's all I would have needed. Like I said, if it had ever been a topic of discussion in any circle that I would have been in, I think that's all I would have needed to start thinking about it and realizing I don't have a justifiable belief. How can I hold that position? I no longer hold that position. It was like when the realization was there. Yeah, I acknowledged as, like I said, agnostic for the longest time because it's like the distinction between the word atheism and agnostic was confusing to me at the time. I still wasn't 100% sure on them.
Sure.
Right. So, but the other thing too is I knew the agnostic position was a much less confrontational position.
Right.
You're kind of like Rex. You're kind of like Rex from Toy Story.
So that's and to me at the time they both pretty much meant the same thing. So it was agnostic and then atheist. But for the lack of belief in a God, that was like fire. That was real quick for me. It's like one episode of the Atheist Experience, and I don't have a justifiable reason for this belief. There's no sense believing it.
Right. Very good.
And
well, thanks,
so,
bud.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into it in the after party. Thanks, bud, for doing this. Fucking finally.
Finally. All you have to do is set a date.
I know, but I guess Mike and I both thought you'd already been on for some reason.
I went on vacation. I thought he went when I was gone.
I don't know. I literally shit the bed on this one. That's for sure.
Literally,
well, so we finally had you. Well, yeah, you know the whole.
Oh
shit.
no!
Seen the Lego set for that? It's great. Anyway, so you know what Lego said they are making? This is fine with the dog sitting in the fire.
Oh, the dog in the fire.
Yeah. They got that one. It's got well over 20,000 votes now, I think, on the Lego Ideas website. So they're going to make it.
You know what would be cool for them to make? Sirius Black's face coming out of the log. That scene. Make that Lego set and actually have it move.
Well, they do the Harry Potter Lego, so you never know.
That would be cool. That would, you'd build it and then it would move. It would undulate a bit and make it look like the lips were moving or whatever.
This is very after talky conversation.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it is. After party. Mikey's frozen.
Spoke another bowl.
Yeah, I'm froze like a motherfucker. I don't know what's going on with my PC.
It's all right. We can still hear you, so it's good. But anyways, Ollie, buddy, thanks for doing this, brother. Thank you guys out there in the chat for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. We're doing an after party. If you want to get involved, you want to come in and say hey to. Oh, Mikey just vanished. Here, let me get rid of this.
Vanished. Oh no! Now I got a T shape in my face. There you go.
Thank you guys out there. Mikey's in charge of all the banner shit, and I don't know where they all are, so I'm not going to pop them up there. But I will say thanks to the chat, and I will say thanks to my amazing patrons. And let's get into the after party if you're interested, and just give us a message or send one to Mikey, and he'll send you a link, and you can jump in here with Ollie, me, and Mikey. And just so you guys know, when it's time for Ollie to go, because he always goes right around the 8-ish o'clock, we're going to shut her down. So if you want to come in, get in early and hang out. All right, everyone. Until then, like I always say at the end of these wonderful episodes, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time. Because Mikey's not here. Bye.
Bye.